Hey there, my friends. Coming at you with another Far Cry Primal video today, but only sort of, and it'll likely be my last. Maybe, maybe not, but most likely. That's why I titled it Last-ish. Here, let me explain. So, near the end of the last video, episode 6, I mentioned that I was going to do a bunch of grinding between episodes, make Takar super powerful, but without doing any quests. Wanted you guys to be with me in a manner of speaking on any of the quests. But, there's a whole bunch of little objectives you can do in the game to gain skill points and build up your Wenja population. Things like hunting and gathering, finding those Deja hands, Wenja bracelets, studying cave paintings, breaking tribal masks, placing totems, etc., etc. And in many cases, you get skill points for those. You can also rescue fellow Wenja and capture bonfires and outposts and all that sort of thing. Like many Far Cry games, they give you a whole lot of grinding opportunities if you dig the basic mechanics of the game, what I like to call downtime gaming. So that's exactly what I did. In fact, I stayed home for St. Paddy's Day, drank some green beer with some friends, and played the hell out of Far Cry Primal. I figured that with a more powerful character, the videos would be vastly more entertaining. And the series needed a boost too. It's clearly underperformed compared to Fallout 4, although not unexpectedly. So after building up Takar big time, I then set out to record the next quest video this morning, and I spent a portion of the beginning of the video leveling up with you guys, having fun spending those earned skill points and talking about the big cats I tamed and making commentary about what skills I thought would be strategic and what not, and then upgrading Takar's hut and crafting more weapons and all that. And then I set out to seek out some of those specialists like Woga, where you can acquire the grapple claw and that sort of thing. And there were so many cool factoids I gave during the episode as well. Although I think you can tell from my past tense where I'm going with this. I forgot to hit record. I remember to hit record on the audio. I record my audio directly into Adobe Audition, but I record my video on my Elgato, and I just had a brain fart and apparently didn't hit that big red button. Now, Elgato does have a flashback recording feature, which is awesome, but I didn't have it enabled because it eats up a lot of memory and storage, and I've never needed it, to be honest, because in the 9 months that I've been making videos on YouTube, this is the first time I've made this mistake and been unable to correct it. And here's what I mean by that. I forgot to hit record on 1 or 2 other occasions. No YouTuber is perfect. However, they were when I was recording Bethsoft games. Once I forgot while recording a Dishonored episode, and once a couple of weeks ago when I recorded a Fallout 4 episode. But there's an enormous difference between Ubisoft games and Bethsoft games when it comes to their saving mechanic. In nearly all Bethesda games I've played, you can go back to an earlier save. You essentially get a do-over if needed or wanted. You can't do that with Ubisoft games, and I've never understood the reasoning behind that. Do they disallow previous saves because of patenting reasons? Like, is the previous save function some kind of intellectual property? Or is it merely because they don't want you to do a mission over again with prior knowledge? In other words, is it a legal hurdle or a coding mechanic of their game engine? Or is it merely a developer's choice to restrict you in a misaligned effort to enhance story flow? If it's the latter, then apparently Ubisoft still hasn't learned the marketing power of YouTube gamers. Because being unable to go back and redo missions makes it monumentally harder to maintain consistency and coherence if you make a mistake, like forget to hit record. This happened to me once while I was playing Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I popped the disc in and the game launched right into a cutscene before I was finished setting up. So I missed recording a really cool interaction for you guys between Evie and Jacob. I actually made a comment about it in the video, and my buddy Wes from Wes Ollie Gaming mentioned the same thing had happened to him. But now with losing out on a whole set of missions that I can't go back and do over for you guys, it really makes me rethink my plans for featuring future Ubisoft games on the channel. I mean, they probably couldn't care less, but I'm sure I'm not alone in the opinion that the saving mechanic for their games is terrible. I'm sure other YouTubers have quietly complained about this, and even non-YouTubers. For example, when I was playing Far Cry Primal this week with some friends, one of them had to run to check on some nachos in the oven and completely missed out on a crazy cutscene with Sayla. He had been commenting about what a freak she was and found her primal rage rather hilarious. But when he came back with the nachos, we couldn't go back and replay the cutscene for him. It was over, like a brief snapshot in time that was gone forever. Or, unless you want to start the game completely over again. The same thing happened a couple of years ago when I was dating this girl who was really into Assassin's Creed. I can't remember which game, maybe Revelations or Black Flag, but she was into the love story element of the game. We were playing it together and she had to run to the bathroom right when a romantic cutscene started. We pushed pause, I ran out to my car to get something while she was in the bathroom. Meanwhile, her cat had jumped on the table, stepped on the controller, and unpaused the game. When she came back, the cutscene had completely finished and we were getting slaughtered right in the middle of the next important quest. And there was no way to go back and revisit the cutscene, and she was pissed. I mean, let's face it, video games these days are a little like mini-movies to a lot of people. And you can rewind DVDs and Blu-rays, but because Ubisoft didn't have the way-back save mechanic, it was like losing a piece of the story for her, and it was disheartening. So let's bring this around full circle so it isn't too much of a rant here. I really like Far Cry Primal, but I'm exceptionally disappointed that I couldn't go back and re-record the episode. The series wasn't getting a lot of love on the channel anyway, and my attempt to salvage it was an epic fail. So what I'm going to do is continue playing Far Cry Primal for myself on the side and get back exclusively to Fallout 4 videos, at least for the next few weeks until another blockbuster game emerges, and even then I'll continue making videos for you guys. Fallout 4 really is my favorite game of all time now, and the DLCs are starting to come out soon too. There's so much more I want to do with Fallout 4 because it's just such a massive enterprise, and it's gotten a lot more love on my channel anyway, that's for sure, which tells me you guys are also digging the game even though it's more than a few months old. It's just one of those games that comes out like once a decade that you can just keep playing and playing and playing with different non-linear paths every time. So to conclude this video, sorry I couldn't bring you that epic 50-minute Super Takar Far Cry Primal episode for you today like I'd wanted, but if you're into Fallout 4, look out for some amazing videos next week. Also, I want to leave this video on a positive note because I have a special announcement that I'm going to be making on the channel tomorrow, completely unrelated to this, something you guys are really going to dig. So if you're still with me, then leave a like and let me know you feel me. I welcome all comments, positive or critical, but I just didn't want to leave another series hanging and not explain why. So there you go. Much love to all of you, and thank you for all the kindness and support this year. It's been amazing. I will see you very soon. Peace out.